Welcome to British vs. American vocabulary. Today, we'll compare words from the UK and the US, like taxi in British and cab in American. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome to Talk Beam. Sam here. Quick question for you. Imagine you're in London. You're walking down the street and you see a red double-decker bus. You want to get on. The driver looks at you and says, "Mind the gap." What does that mean? Or imagine you're in New York. You walk into a coffee shop and the barista asks, "Do you want cream in your coffee?" Simple, right? But here's the thing. If you said cream in London, they might look at you a little funny, because in the UK, that's not always what they call it. Confusing, isn't it? Don't worry. Today, we're going to clear up all that confusion. Welcome to Talk Beam. I'm Sam, your English-speaking friend. Today, we're talking about British versus American vocabulary, and trust me, this is going to be useful. So why does this matter? Well, English is spoken all over the world, but British English and American English, they have some interesting differences. And if you're learning English, you've probably seen this already. Maybe you watched a British TV show and heard a word you didn't understand. Or maybe you watched an American movie and thought, wait, they say that differently? It can be confusing, right? But here's the good news. It's not complicated. Once you know the common differences, you'll understand both. And today, we're going to learn the most important vocabulary differences, the words you'll actually hear in daily life. So whether you're visiting London or New York, you'll know exactly what people are saying. Ready? Let's go. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you said something and the other person looked confused? Maybe you said pants in the UK and the British person thought you were talking about underwear, because in British English, pants means underwear. In American English, pants means trousers. Imagine that. You're trying to say, "I like your pants," and the British person thinks you're talking about their underwear. Awkward, right? This is why today's lesson is so important. You don't need to choose between British or American English. You just need to understand both. So when someone says lift or elevator, you know what they mean. When someone says flat or apartment, you know they're talking about the same thing. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being understood and feeling confident. Okay, let's dive into the vocabulary. I'm going to give you the most common British versus American words. And I want you to think about which ones you already know. Food and drink. Let's start with food, because who doesn't love food? In the US, you buy potato chips in a bag. They're crispy, salty, and delicious. In the UK, those are called crisps. So, in America, chips. In Britain, crisps. But wait, it gets a little tricky. In the UK, chips is what Americans call French fries, thick, hot fried potatoes. You get them with fish. So, let's review. US chips equals UK crisps. US French fries equals UK chips. Are you following? Good. Now, what about cookies? In the US, a cookie is a sweet, round baked treat, chocolate chip cookies, for example. In the UK, they call them biscuits. But in the US, biscuits are something completely different. They're soft, bread-like, and often eaten with gravy. See why this is important? Okay, let's talk about everyday life. Imagine you're in a building. You want to go up to the 10th floor. What do you use? In America, you take the elevator. In Britain, you take the lift. Same thing, different word. What about the place you live? In America, you live in an apartment. In Britain, you live in a flat. Now let's talk about vacations, or should I say holidays. In America, you go on vacation. In Britain, you go on holiday. Here's an interesting one. In America, when you travel, you put your suitcases in the trunk of the car. In Britain, you put them in the boot. The trunk is the boot is the trunk. And the front of the car? In America, it's the hood. In Britain, it's the bonnet. Clothing. Let's talk about what you wear. We already mentioned pants. In America, pants means trousers. In Britain, pants means underwear. So if you're in London, don't tell someone you like their pants, unless you're talking about their underwear, and that would be weird. Instead, say trousers. And what about that warm piece of clothing you wear in winter? In America, sweater. In Britain, jumper. Sweater, jumper, same thing. Now, what about the shoes you wear for sports? In America, sneakers. In Britain, trainers. Sneakers, trainers, same shoes. Let's go back to transportation. In America, you put gas in your car. In Britain, you put petrol in your car. Gas, petrol, same thing. What about the road with many cars? In America, highway. In Britain, motorway. And what about that underground train system? In America, subway. In Britain, underground or tube. If you're in London, you take the tube. If you're in New York, you take the subway. School and work. In America, students go to elementary school, middle school, and high school. In Britain, they go to primary school and secondary school. And in college? In America, students take a test. In Britain, they take an exam. Same thing. At work, if you get time off, in America, vacation time. In Britain, holiday time. All right, let's review the most important words. Here's a quick reference. Food. U.S. chips equals UK crisps. U.S. French fries equals UK chips. U.S. cookie equals UK biscuit. U.S. candy equals UK sweets. U.S. sidewalk equals UK pavement. Everyday things. U.S. elevator equals UK lift. U.S. apartment equals UK flat. U.S. vacation equals UK holiday. U.S. trunk equals UK boot. U.S. hood equals UK bonnet. Clothing. U.S. pants equals UK trousers. U.S. sweater equals UK jumper. U.S. sneakers equals UK trainers. Transportation. U.S. gas equals UK petrol. U.S. highway equals UK motorway. U.S. subway equals UK underground or tube. School. U.S. elementary, middle, and high school equals UK primary, secondary school. U.S. test equals UK exam. Now, here's a quick tip. If you're not sure which one to use, it's usually fine. Most people understand both. But if you're in the UK, try using British words. If you're in the US, use American words. And if you're talking to someone from a different country, just use what feels comfortable. The goal is communication, not perfection. Okay, let's talk about something interesting. Did you notice something about these differences? In the US, they often use one word. In the UK, they might use a different word. But there's also a difference in the way they form certain words. Let's look at some examples. American English often uses or at the end of words. British English uses our. For example, US, color, UK, color. US, favorite, UK, favorite. US, neighbor, UK, neighbor. It's the same word, just spelled differently. Here's another one. American English often uses eyes. British English uses eyes. US, realize. UK, realize. US, organize. UK, organize. This is what we call spelling differences, and they're everywhere. But here's the thing, both are correct. It just depends on where you are or who you're writing to. If you're writing to someone in the US, use American spelling. If you're writing to someone in the UK, use British spelling. If you're not sure, just choose one and be consistent. Now, let's see how this works in real life. Let's create a situation. Imagine you're an American visiting London. You check into your hotel. The receptionist says, "Your flat is on the second floor. You can take the lift." You understand that flat means apartment, and lift means elevator. Great! You go out to eat. You order fish and chips. You know that chips means French fries. Perfect. You want dessert. You ask for a cookie. The waiter says, "We have biscuits." You know that's a cookie. Excellent. Now you want to go sightseeing. You ask, "How do I get to the underground?" You know that's the subway. You're doing great. Now let's reverse it. Imagine you're British visiting New York. You go to a restaurant. You order chips. The waiter brings you potato chips in a bag, because in America, chips are what you call crisps. But you expected French fries, because in the UK, chips are French fries. You learn quickly. Next time, you order French fries. You ask for a sweater because you're cold. Someone says, "Do you mean a sweatshirt?" But you know, in America, sweater is a jumper. You're learning, you're adapting, and that's the key. You don't need to memorize everything. You just need to be aware that these differences exist. When you hear a word you don't know, just ask. People are usually happy to explain. And that's it for today. We covered British versus American vocabulary, from food to clothing to transportation. Let me ask you something. Which words did you already know? And here's a question for the comments. Have you ever been in a situation where you used a word and the other person didn't understand? Tell me about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Here's what I want you to do next. Practice what you learned today. Use these words. Make mistakes. That's how you improve. Remember, progress matters more than perfection. You're doing great. Keep going. If you enjoyed this lesson, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want more practical English lessons, subscribe to TalkBeam. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. This is Sam. TalkBeam, out.